Failure. For some of us, it could be in a more devastating situation. Hi there, I'm D.H.Dawkins Sr., and welcome to the Push community. In this community is where you'll find hope, inspiration, motivation, and insight to help push you forward. Your future is worth your push. Hey there, so I'm really excited about talking about this particular topic. I believe it's something that we can all relate to in one season or another of our life. For me in particular, it has been cyclical, meaning it's a consistent thing that I experience in terms of having successes and failures, having moments of triumphing things and moments where I am feeling a sense of defeat concerning some things. The topic is pretty much how to recover from failure, how to recover from failure. So, if you are an honest human being living in your reality, you can confess to the fact that there are seasons and situations in your life where you have experienced failure. For some of us, it could be in a more devastating situation than others, and for others it may be just minor setbacks here and there. But either way, these particular components, these 4 points that I'm going to leave with you, are going to be essential for whatever level of failure that you endure. So the first point that I'll say, and these points, they go across the board, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in business ventures, whether it's in a private personal area, friendships, different tasks and projects that you may set out to do and you didn't succeed, certain business ideas that you want to do entrepreneurially, ministerially, community oriented, you name it. These are universal principles. So let me jump into principle number one, or point number one. How to recover from any kind of failure. The first thing you need to do, be humble. Be humble. You have to be humble. There's a particular statement that says pride comes before the fall, which means usually there may have been a red flag, there may have been a warning, there may have been a moment that you missed, a moment of sobriety, a moment to make a healthy, wise decision that you missed and forfeited. And as a result, your pride gave you a false sense of security. It made you feel excluded from the possibility of being trapped or tricked. It made you feel a level of superiority over something that you probably are not over. And as a result, your next step was the fall because you ignored the warning. Usually when warnings are ignored, they're ignored by people who are too proud to own up to it, whether in that moment or in general. So be humble. If you want to recover from failure, you have to be humble. You have to get off your high horse, stop trying to talk it into something better than it is, own up to what it is. And that being humble leads right into the next, which is be honest. It requires humility in order to be honest. I'll say it this way: honesty requires humility. People who are humble have no problem being truthful and being honest. I messed up. That was me. I take full ownership. I'll take it head on. I said it. I did it. I'm the one, right? So now when you own up to it, that really humbles you. That really puts you in a position of saying, wow, I had to be in a humble posture in order to have the courage to own up to an area of failure, an area of error in my life. Now that helps to accelerate you to the next phase. If you're humble, if you're honest, now we can begin the journey to be healthy, that health pretty much manifests in different forms. For me personally, I have gone through situations and am still navigating through some things that require therapy. It requires me sitting under the tutelage and under the accountable watch care of an individual who is licensed and trained to help me navigate and manage through whatever situation and setting and scenario that I find myself in. That takes humility. That takes honesty, right? I've also had to submit myself to accountability. I have some people that are peers, colleagues, friends of mine, brothers, some sisters, and I have family members. They ask me questions. They have the permission to invade certain areas and inquire about where my mind is about certain things. You have to be comfortable enough and secure enough, not just in who you are, but in who's around you, to be able to allow people to have that kind of access to ask you the hard questions. You want to know one of the questions that I always encourage people to embrace? It's that one that says not just how are you doing, but are you ready? Here's real accountability. What are you doing? Anybody can answer, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm fine. I'm good. And we kind of brush that off. We answer generally. But when someone is able to impose and ask, what are you doing? That requires detail. That requires you to be able to identify your location. What are you doing kind of insinuates, well, where are you? Where are you? Some people are not honest with where they are, and being dishonest about where you are forfeits your health. It forfeits your health. Being honest about where you are. I think of it this way: when you have a GPS and you put in that I'm in Chicago, but you're really in Dallas. So you put that you're in Chicago, so now the GPS starts to navigate and give you directions from Chicago to, let's say you're trying to get to New York. So it's going to take you on whatever that highway is. It's going to head right east into New York, but you're really in Dallas. So you're wasting the time of the help. Wow. I just said it. I'll say it again. You're wasting the time of your help. Your help is available to you, and you're not being honest about your location, which would then allow you to be able to be navigated to a healthy place. So you forfeit that health because you're not honest about where you are. So directions are being given to you that are irrelevant to where you are. Directions are being given to you, insight, advice, wisdom, and you just, yeah, But meanwhile, you're not at that real place. You're not there. Be honest about where you are, so that way when you get directives and instructions and advice, it'll actually be relevant to your health and navigate you to the place that you need to be ideally. And that leads now to the fourth and final. Are you ready? This one, I want to put more of my weight on it, because I think that it's one that a lot of people who have dealt with failure feel disqualified for. They feel that I do not qualify to embrace this final one. If you notice, they all started with the letter H, so it'll be easy for you to really remember it. So the first was what? Be humble. Then I said what? Be honest. And that will help to accelerate you to a place of being healthy. And you ready for the last? Be happy. Be happy. I have experienced some failures in my life, especially because, I'll say it this way, being one who comes from a religious background, and my profession, a major part of my profession is in a religious context, that being the church. I have experienced times where my failures and my shortcomings were used against me in such a way where, although I was humble in my confession and my admittance, I began to be honest about how I got to where I was and what happened. And I became healthier. My journey towards health began. There were some people that made me feel like I couldn't be happy, that I was supposed to walk around long-faced and be somewhere in a puddle of my own tears and blood and sweat, and I was not allowed to smile again, allowed to make decisions, are you ready, that make me happy. When you are humble, you're honest, and you get to a place, or you're journeying to a place of sincere health and wholeness, you then qualify and you have the right to make decisions that will make you happy. Don't allow your failures, don't allow your shortcomings, don't allow, no matter how embarrassing, no matter how humiliating, no matter how debilitating, no matter how much of a delay it caused, no matter how much of a disappointment it caused in other people or you to yourself, your happiness still matters. Your happiness still matters. And you being humble, you being honest, and you being healthy will help to put you in a place of sincere happiness. Listen, if you enjoyed this brief, but I hope it was impactful download and time of sharing of motivation, inspiration, insight, and wisdom for you, I want you to, first of all, make sure that you click that subscribe button, because I've got a lot more for you and I don't want you to miss it when I post these and share these for your use and for the empowerment and the betterment of your life, because my desire is to push you forward healthily. Also, I'd like to invite you to be a part of my Push community. You can subscribe and be a part of the Push community. They get an email every week, fresh from my heart, with whatever wisdom, insight, challenges, or thoughts that I may have. And I also do have a 30-day Push journal. Make sure that you purchase that journal. The link is available. Click on that link and make sure that you download your copy, so that way you can embrace the 30 days. All I need is 30 days with you. That's it. Give me 30 days. And if you follow that 30-day pattern, I promise you, you'll find yourself much further ahead. You'll find yourself more humble, more honest, more healthy, and more happy. Listen, I want to see you recover from anything that happens in your life that tries to set you back. There is a lesson in every loss. Stay connected. You're worth the push. Thanks for tuning in.